So there you go. Okay, so now we're recording. So that anything that you say from now forward can and will be held against you. No, that's a joke. Sorry, guys. Starting your own business, right? Some of you already have your own business. That's fine. I'm going to ask you to either start a new one or let's grow the business that you have. And stop me along the way because I'm going to just go through this pretty quickly. It's about 4:15. It's going to take me about a half hour. I want to show you the tools. I'm recording what I'm talking about so you can go back and review it. Some of you may have done this already. I don't know. But it's broken into five parts and or four parts. Okay, 30 points each, so 120 points. And then here's a couple of videos that are pretty cool videos on how to present when you share in class. So I put those in there as well. So the first thing is first of all, you have to come up with an idea, right? How many people just, throw your hands up, sort of give me a thumbs up, whatever, have an idea already of a business that they would like to start? Okay, a couple of you, all right? So you will need that. And you can't start this without an idea. So let me just couch that a little bit and so you can be aware. Every business starts with an idea. That idea is generally somebody wandering around and they go, holy cow, how come they don't provide this? How come this service isn't here? Or I can do better than this, or this could be improved, or whatever. And you start looking at what are the gaps in our world that could be handled. Obviously, with COVID, there was a lot of gaps. How do we get things? How to get things get transferred? How do you get online? How do you get, the tools that you use that we weren't using necessarily before? So all of those things became opportunities for businesses like the company that we're on right now, which is Zoom, right? This was just an idea. And it was actually an idea that the guy that started Zoom was actually working for a company called WebEx, W-E-B-E-X, which was acquired by a company called Cisco Systems, which I used to work for at one time back in the 90s and up in Silicon Valley. And we acquired 45 companies at the time during the 2 years I was there. I was a regional manager. And WebEx was acquired. Now, WebEx was a communication tool, just like this, that allowed people and businesses to talk to each other. And they didn't have to fly across country or drive or whatever. They could just get online, look at conference and talk to people and accomplish their business meetings without having to physically be there. Okay, so simple concept. And the guy that started Zoom was an engineer, and but he noticed that the product WebEx was not being widely used. It was not being widely adopted, and he got feedback that customers didn't like it so much. So what he did is he took some time and he traveled around to every customer that had WebEx that he could get hold of. And he said, what do you like about the product? What don't you like about the product? And so forth, right? Good due diligence for Cisco, for their engineers to say, hey, what's going on in the product? Almost universally, everybody hated the product. So those were not good meetings. They go, it's hard, it's cumbersome, it's not user-friendly, it's slow, it's, whatever all the problems were. So he made note of all of those things. This was in the 20s, I don't know, mid 20 up to 2010, and made note of all those things, and said, well, wait a minute, and the company wasn't going to change their product, right? To change their platform, they might fix a few things or whatever, and so he said, I think I can do it better. So he wrote Zoom. He took about 19 engineers, they migrated with him, and built a company called Zoom. and this was pre-COVID, so it was just a startup and competing with a lot of other companies, FaceTime and Skype and all these other services, and he built his business, and they got subscribers and they got people hooked up, but it was okay. And I think they had up to, I don't know, I think they were 100 million of valuation at one point, which is pretty good size for a startup. And they had X amount of customers. I forget what the number was exactly. But COVID hit. Well, guess what? This was the right guy at the right time with the right product. And boom. And this company now is, I don't know, it's like a 5, 10, $20 billion company, and it just went crazy. Now they have competition, but they were adopted because they're so easy to use and they're user friendly, and they fixed all those problems. So my point is that products and services may not be coming from something just totally new that nobody's ever done before, but what they're doing is they're improving on or taking in or expanding things that exist from before. So so I want you to think about what idea you're going to have. Some of you said you had an idea already. I looked up just for grins, I just did 30 of the best businesses promising signs of success that you may want to start in 2021. Okay, a lot of you are graduating in 2021. All right, so this is just a straight Google thing, and so here's 30 of the best businesses to own in 2021. Right. So instead of saying, okay, well, I'm going to do a Mexican restaurant, which is fine, or hairdresser salon and so forth, which are fine. Those are very solid, simple businesses, fairly simple businesses to start, but they're kind of Me Too businesses. So they're only going to grow to a certain degree, and away you go. So I thought it'd be kind of fun if you take a look and see some of the businesses that they're projecting will have demand in the next year or two, and because you want to look down the road a little bit, right? So e-commerce, distribution platform for small businesses. So what small businesses are going to need to do is, brick and mortar is getting very expensive. A lot of places are closed down. Employees hard to find. You have to pay them a certain amount, and so on. So everybody, there's a lot of shift to e-commerce. No big surprise, but that the platform could be, and you're on a platform. Zoom is called the platform for small businesses. Consultation for retail and distribution businesses. International trade consulting, personal cybersecurity software, small business cybersecurity software, drone-powered security, okay? Digital assistant, the school for the future, right? What is the school for the future? Talking about artificial intelligence and so forth. So what kind of schools are we going to need as we move forward? Corporate immigration consultant, elderly care services, right? The baby boomer age and so on. People are looking for care and services, substance addiction, right? There's a whole lot of, we have a guest speaker coming up in a couple of 3 weeks, and this is his specialty. He's actually a trainer, a physical trainer, and he's also a substance addiction consultant coach. Chatbox developer, MRI, that's magnetic resonance imaging, scanning services in the medical field. So these are kind of like, holy cow, what are those all about, right? Well, the only reason that, and I may see some other areas that are important, but I want you to be thinking about, as you build a business, what are we going to need as we go forward? Okay, virtual reality. We talked about augmented reality, virtual reality. There's all kinds of different reality things going on. Skilled workers, childcare services, home improvement services, bike services, counseling, financial advisor, gourmet coffee, food truck, creative arts, accountant, social media management, vacation rental systems, website flipping, okay, and box services. So those are just 30 that they're projecting. This particular site, which is business management degree, is predicting for 2021, right? So I want you guys to think about, if I'm going to build a little business, what should I build? Okay. And so I want you to research that. And part of the assignment is to, I'm going to ask you down here, point 3, what is the primary and secondary research? How did you research your business? Okay, so I want you to be thinking about and researching and coming up with the idea for your business. So, all right, so questions at this point?
Professor, if we wanted to just run the idea through you, we could always email you, correct?
Yeah, just as long as it doesn't hurt. Okay, I mean, if you run it through me, I mean, if you run it by me,
Oh no, oh yeah, running by you.
that's
That's what
probably
I meant.
better, Brian. Yeah, because I do bruise easily. So,
Say no more. Thank you, Professor.
of course. In fact, I will ask everyone to tell me what business. Yeah, thanks, Alex. What business are you thinking of doing? So that's going to be something I'm going to have you tell me, and you're going to send me a little note on that. And then I'll show you the tools that we're going to take that business and we're going to work through. And the tools are going to help you qualify that business to see if it's a good business or not. Because no sense in spending money and time and effort and energy on something that really doesn't have the value or to reach the objectives that you want to have in building a business. And I will take a caveat with this. Okay, caveat says these are exceptions, right? And the exception is you don't have any financial constraints. There's no technology constraints. It's not like, well, I don't think I can do that. Take that off the table. You can do that. Whatever it is, I can do this. And let your mind open up a bit. Just think about it. Kind of do, what if I didn't have any problems with trying to get this through government or get a business type of approval or something, Don't take all that off the table. This is a good chance to get creative here. And that's what I'll ask you to kind of be thinking about doing. So, okay. So there's 4 points. One, we're going to see if your business is feasible. 2, we're going to kind of do a very simple outline. Our text talks about a business plan. And I'm not going to ask you to do a full business plan. I'm going to ask you to do a simple business plan. It's a 1-page because I think that's more effective initially than trying to write out a whole business plan. And that's it. I'll stop at that. And I need to know what research. And I put it down as a 3rd point instead of at the beginning because you're going to be constantly researching. You're going to be doing some feasibility on this, and you're going to say, oh, well, wait a minute, this doesn't look like this is going to work. So you got to go back to research. I want that process put together in a little reflection. So that's worth 30 points at point 3. And then once you've gotten through all that, and you've got your business together, and you got a good feel for it, and you've kind of bounced it around and researched it, put your little plan together. Then let's make a picture of it, and let's put together a little presentation on your plan, on what your business is. Fair enough? So any questions now? Okay. Well, stop me along the way. I'm going to jump in on the 2 areas that are the top 2 areas that you're going to need to get done. Now, I'm going to ask you guys a question. We're all expert at one thing, and remember what that is? What are we experts at? Starts with a P.
Procrastinating.
Oh my God, Brian, there you go. Exactly right. We're all expert in procrastinating. It's like, hey, why do I have to do it now? You know, that's not due till November 1st. Let's put that in the back burner, blah, blah, blah. Well, these things take time and take some thought. You can't do this at 11:52, then when it's due at 11:59. You're going to need to put some thought to this. Now, my question to you is, should I put due dates with each of these? Basically, it's over the next 3 weeks. So it'd be boom, 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 where you'd have feasibility posted, you'd have the business plan posted, your research posted, and then your presentation posted. Would that help you if you had due dates and you got a little kick in the butt to make sure that you're making those due dates? Give me yes or no on that. So give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Due date.
Professor,
Yeah.
would you be grading, would you be grading them during, by a few days after we submit them?
I might.
Or
Yeah, I might.
so we can get
And
feedback?
actually, yeah, and Selena, actually, that's a good point. If I go through and you've submitted your SWOT analysis, and I say, you know, that's pretty weak, or it's missing some components or something like that, you have time then to go back and correct it, right? And to update it. So, but if you wait till the very end, you don't. So, you know, so that's up to you. I've done it in the past where I've usually had due dates. My students have asked me to do that. They like to have that kind of pressure a little bit. It's simple pressure, but pressure to have a due date. And so what I would say on the feasibility tools, I mean, we're sitting here at Thursday. You know, one, I would look at your idea, and two, to do a simple SWOT analysis, okay? And I'm gonna go into that in a minute here. So, okay? So think about that. I will take a poll at the end to tell me if you want due dates or not due dates. Okay, so let's jump ahead and jump in on feasibility tools. So I'm going to use a tool called Canvanizer. You're going to use a tool called Canvanizer. So if you go to canvanizer.com, okay, canvanizer.com, right? And it's right there on the assignment. This is what you'll come to. And this is a really cool platform. It's free. They do have a premium version. This is the freemium version. This is version 1, and they have a version 2. I don't ask you to do version 2. That would be like if you're really building business, okay? But you get all the functionality that we need for this assignment right here in version 1, and it's free. Okay, so you're gonna, the idea with Canvanizer is it's building a canvas that shows everybody what your business looks like, okay? And it shows you what your business looks like. And the first thing that we're gonna do it, so let's just take a business and they're gonna, you kind of get this pitch all the way along Canvanizer 2, all the new features, you know, you get a lot more check marks on Canvanizer 2. We don't need all that stuff for this assignment. So we're gonna stick right here with the basic, anyone with a link can access and a basic Canvas templates, that's all we need for this assignment. But it's a very cool tool. The guys that put this together, I've talked to them, they're actually in Austria, I think. So you just click on business, okay? And then you get a chance to choose your tools. And so all of these are templates that are functional templates that you're going to fill out with your business information, and you're going to answer the questions about your business, and it's going to help you understand and put together your business, but it's going to be on a single page. So it's very visible, very easy for somebody to see what you're doing. You know, you can send it to investors, you can send it to your banks, you can send it to, you know, people that you trust, mentors. Say, hey, I'm thinking of doing this. Here's what I'm looking at. What do you think? And you can get feedback right away. Sending a 15 or 20 page business plan not so easy. So this is a much simpler way to do it. And it's what we call lean entrepreneurship. You qualify your business right up front. Is this a real business? And this is something we can do. So, so the two things you're going to do, hopefully you can see it, it's a business model canvas, and you're going to do a SWOT analysis. Okay? So if you remember the assignment, you got a SWOT analysis and you got a one-page model canvas, business model canvas, right? And so that's what you have right here. And hopefully you guys see this. I'm doing screen sharing on this so that you can see it. It's being recorded. I will post this in the assignment so that you can go back and review it and see what's going on. They have other areas that you can do depending on what you're trying to do, but we'll focus on these two right now. Okay, they got business models, Zen Canvas and HR and all these other things, disruption, and then the sales pitch down here. I'm trying to upgrade you to Canvanizer too, right? So right now we're going to just focus on the SWOT analysis initially, right? And you may notice a difference here. This is SWOT, SWOT. In the assignment, I have SWOTT, two T's. Okay, so you want to make note of that. There's two T's. What do you think the second T is? Does anybody know what the first T is? In the business model canvas.
Threats?
Yeah, threats. There you go. Exactly. It says right there, right? So you got strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So what do you think the second T is? If you're building a business, what are you going to look at? You know, you look at your business and how I'm putting it together and what's going to cost and
Time.
Do you think customers' time is an essence of what I'm looking for here, Jeremy? But I'll give you the answer. It's trends over time. So give me an idea. Some of you raise your thumb with your business. Give me a type of business that you're thinking of building. Just throw one out there.
I have an idea.
Yeah, go ahead, Mohammed. Just give me an idea. I'm just using it for an example right now. What is it?
So technically, I'm into the business of wholesale jewelry. I'm thinking of opening a retail shop in the mall or like in a bigger outlet.
Like a pop-up or a kiosk or a store or what?
Yeah. Like no, a full store. Actually, people don't trust the kiosk, so wouldn't be.
All right, so let's just take that and we'll run with it for a few minutes and kind of, it'll give you, anybody can plug any of your businesses into this. And don't forget, you know, part of the research is going back, what businesses are going to be, you know, successful or needed over a period of time. And you know, 30 of the best businesses, what businesses will flourish in 2021. I would suggest you kind of research that and find something you like. And I will open it up to a second area as well, and that is franchises. Franchise businesses are an excellent business. They can be an excellent business. And we'll discuss those at another time. But so, you know, that's an existing business model. So you don't have to create that whole business model. You can buy into it, and then you get support and so forth, and you already have branding and things that go with a franchise. I'm not saying you have to do a franchise, but that's an option. You're welcome to explore that. So pick a business from a franchise, one that you want to create. Look in here, just do some research on what businesses are going to be successful or that are going to be needed, right? As we go forward, pick one. Don't wait a long time. Just pick one or two, do the research on them, and away we go. So Mohammed said something about a retail store, right? And he's already got, I believe, a background in this business. So he's coming at it with some strengths, right? So that would be, I've got experience, I've been in the business, maybe have some distribution contacts, I've got resources.
Honestly, the unique and low-cost resources is the best advantage I would get over many people like Daniels and
Yeah.
Jerry, these
Okay,
guys.
so for you, Mohammed, that would be a strength, right? And so you would post that in your SWOT analysis as a strength, and you would define, what my strengths are. In a SWOT analysis, that I don't know if anybody's walked through this with you, but this is very powerful too. This can be used. I have my students do personal SWOT analysis. You can analyze yourself and see what my weaknesses and strengths and what the opportunities and threats are. And that way, then you get a much better feel for yourself and what paths you might want to follow and the decisions that you might want to make. And you can do the same thing for a business. This actually came out of the aerospace industry. I think they were looking at some, on rockets and stuff, and they were trying to make a decision: should we build it, round or square or whatever? And one of the engineers said, "Yeah, just did this strength, this simple little diagram, almost like a tic-tac-toe diagram." And I said, well, what are our strengths? What are our weaknesses? And the strengths and weaknesses, when you look at them, and you can go down here, I'm just scrolling down on the same screen, it actually describes what strengths, what advantages do your business have? What do you do better than others? What is your unique value proposition? What do customers see as your strengths, right? So these are kind of internal things for your business or for yourself. And what are you missing? What weaknesses do you have? Qualities of the firm that we don't have at this time. Issues that may be a problem for us in how we're putting our business together. Then you look at opportunities and threats. Those are external. What are the opportunities in the marketplace right now? Okay, so Mohammed's talking about opening a retail store in a mall. And as you guys probably know, most malls are closed. But they're going to open back up, and some have. So there's going to be a demand. People like to go to malls. People like to buy in those kind of in stores. They're all convenient. And so somewhere down the road, that may be a great way to have a business. So the opportunities you have to look at in that regard. But what are the threats? Obviously the online businesses, other competition, maybe that mall's not in a great location, maybe something happens. And so what are the threats here? So those are the 4 areas there, the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So right on the website, just read, and then with your business, make your best guess as to how you would fill those blanks out. And then what I ask you to do is when you fill it out, Mama, do you have a name for your business?
Honestly, yeah, I did put it up.
Okay, I'm just going to call it Honestly Yes. That's what you just said.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
And I'll just put my email, mgrimshaw@csudh.edu, and we'll just start it, right? And so we'll just start canvassing. That's all you got to do, okay? And so it says, why did it not take? Oh, I didn't put I'm not a robot. Okay. Everything is now, you can't be a robot doing this stuff, even though robotics is kind of taken over. So, but I didn't check the right box, and so it kicked me back to the start. That's the beauty of the internet. So I got to make sure I check this. Not a robot, so now I can start canvassing. Okay, here we go. So your canvas, Honestly Yes, was created successfully. All right, so this is the first thing you're going to see. The second thing you're going to see is this area right here. When you create a canvas for the SWOT and for your business model, it actually gives you a link. That's all you need to have, is that link. And that is your key to get back and forth to make sure you do the editing, updating, and so forth. And this is what you're going to send us. That's what you're going to send me in Blackboard. You're not going to, you're going to just submit if you make a picture of your SWOT analysis, that's fine too. But I want the edit. I want to be able to read honestly. Yes, I want to be able to open that up, have it open up, not be linked, no passwords, nothing. That I can read it, take a look at it, and give you a score. Okay, so that's it. So this does this immediately. And then, you know, you might want to read, and of course now it's trying to upgrade you to Canvanizer 2, so ignore that. So that's it on the link. So now you just edit your canvas, and it gives you a little note on how to edit it, okay? And you can put colors in there, you can do all kinds of crazy stuff. So I'll show you some canvases. Let me see if I can find, let's see here. Yeah, here we go. So here's a SWOT analysis for small businesses that, you know, people got creative and filled it out and put colors in and put blocks in and different things. But basically, it all contains the same thing: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. And I'm asking you to have a trends column as well. What's the trend in that industry? Okay, so that's 30 points. You can make it simple. You can put colors in it. You can put pictures in there. You know, however you want to do to make it interesting, relevant, and clean. Okay, so questions at this point? No, you guys good? Okay. So that's a feasibility tool. I call it a feasibility tool because it tells me, I look at it, and man, if I've got so many weaknesses and so many threats and all these kind of things, and they far outweigh the opportunities and strengths, man, this may not even be feasible for me to do. And again, I'm telling you to take kind of some of the stuff off the table that you might kind of think would be a roadblock for you, you know, finances and things like that. Just kind of assume that this thing can be put together, whatever it is you're doing. All right, and this same, and I'm going to move on now to the business plan. And so stop me if you got a question. So here's, you know, here's your Canvanizer for the SWOT analysis, and you're going to do the same thing. It's going to be a different link. All right, so you're going to create a canvas, come back to here, go into business, and you're going to be doing a business model canvas. Okay, and that's this one right here. Now, same thing. If you go up on the internet and take a look around, you're going to see all kinds of ways that people have put these canvases together. And this happens to be specifically for Netflix. The business model canvas on how Netflix was put together. So, you know, you're talking about a multi-billion-dollar, huge content distribution company. And you can boil it all down into one page as to what their business plan is. So when you take a look at it and open it up, you know, you can just dig down in there how they make money, what they're about, and so forth. And so when you look at their business model canvas, let me see if I can make it a little bit bigger for you guys. So here's, you know, here are the things that make Netflix unique, and these are the things that are going to make your business unique. So we start right in the middle, okay? Now it's going to try and sell me something. Okay, cool. Internet's beautiful that way, isn't it? Let me see if I can skip out of here. You're not going to let me do it, are you? Okay. Okay, well, whatever. I'll bite. That's how I learn things. People send me stuff. Okay, there you go. Okay, now turn me loose here, guys. I just put this in here. There we go. Okay, coming back. So this is just a sample. Now, I don't know if you're going to build a Netflix or what your business is, but they all have the same components. There's nine slots in here. So when you go onto the Canvanizer, there's the same 9 slots, and you're going to fill out your title and your email. That's all you're going to give it. It's all secure. Nobody's going to be bugging you about anything. And make sure you say, I'm not a robot. Then you can start Canvanizing and filling these boxes out. So like I said, here's here's a sample for Netflix. And let me see if I can find that one. Things never get in the same order they're supposed to be. Here we go. So can you see this, the Netflix business tool? Anybody not see it?
It's just a little zoomed out.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
All right. So the very first thing that you look at is that, Muhammad wants to open a retail store. Well, that's fine. That's what he wants to do. But are there customers that want to come to a retail store? What's the value he's going to be providing that they can't find someplace else at the same cost or better cost or easier convenience or whatever that he's going to try and use to set his business apart? So you got to put in here, what are my value propositions, right? So for Netflix, it's 24/7 on-demand entertainment, high definition, streaming content, unlimited access, original content, right? They didn't have that originally, but now they do. They used to have DVDs they'd send you. Now they probably not so much DVDs, and no commercials. So that's what they feel that the value is that they're offering to their customers. Then they look at, how do we build relationships? So we always look at, you're not in business till you have a customer, right? And why does that customer come to you rather than somebody else? And we all make those decisions when we buy things. Why do we buy from this source and not this source? Customer relationships. What segments are we going after? Okay. What channels do we want to get our product out there? In this case, obviously he's going to do it on a retail basis. Maybe he'll do mail order, or maybe he'll do online as well while he's doing it from a retail store. What resources are available? Well, what activities am I going to need to do to make my business run and be successful? And what partners do I have to have around me? I mean, who do I need to know and get, like for jewelry manufacturers, jewelry distributors, high quality, unique pieces that maybe nobody else has. And so those are my partners and banks and investors and things like that, if I have that. And then in the 2 bottom categories, it's how am I going to set myself up for driving revenue? Okay, what are my revenue streams going to be? And then what's it going to cost me? Okay, so when you do a simple spreadsheet on cost analysis, what's it cost me and how much do I make? And we start looking at if I'm making more than it cost me, that's probably not a bad thing. If it costs more than I'm making, that's probably not a good thing. So this is the SWOT analysis. So those are the next 2 things that you need to do. Good, Nikki. And readily available, easy to find. Using Canvanizer, it's easy. Do your research all the way along the way. Develop your idea, and over the next 2 weeks, that's what we'll do. And then you'll write your reflection. It'll just be a 1 or 2 page reflection. What did I go through to put this thing together? How did I think of the idea? What research? Where did I look? I specify in here actually primary and secondary. What is that? Anybody know? well, Mohammed, I'll pick on you because you're the one that says you got your business. What's primary research?
I believe like the resources, the technically like the locations, like everything has to do with the main business idea.
No, that's the wrong answer. But that's nice guess, but not the right answer for research. That actually would be probably kind of secondary. Primary research is stuff you do face to face. Now, maybe you do some of those things face to face. Okay, and those are the interviews. I go look at my competitors. I look at, you know, I interview my customers. I interview my distributors. You know, what products are needed, things like that. I'm actually engaged in doing that research. Where secondary research is where I do, like I did here, Google searches and you know, databases and, you know, some other kinds of write-ups on the type of business I'm in. So, but make sure that, you know, you do both because they're both very helpful. So put your business together. And then the last thing, and I'll talk about it when we get back together, is I'm going to ask you to do a presentation in class. Obviously, I don't think I'm going to be able to have everybody do their presentation, but I will pick or you can volunteer to share the business that you put together over the next 3 weeks. All right, so that's project 2. It's worth 120 points, 12%. It's probably the most valuable point-wise of any of the individual projects or individual items. The other ones add up, and away we go. All right, so I'm going to shut up for a minute. We got about 2 or 3 minutes. What questions do you have? And like I said, I recorded this, so you can see how the tools work. You can go back and review the video. I'll save that video, put it on YouTube, and I'll plug it in right here, right on the Blackboard, right in Project 2. So you'll have the video up there if you want to go and review any of the areas. But they're all pretty simple. And obviously, if you have questions, you know, you can send me a note or communicate with me. So, all right.
Professor,
Yeah.
did you also want us to go like in depth of like how much it's gonna cost us, or did you just want an overview?
No, I think you're going to need to go more than an overview when you do you know, the cost structure and the revenue streams. So, you know, I mean, when you say in depth, I mean, it doesn't have to be down to the penny. But,
Yeah.
you know, what are the costs going to be? I mean, you know, you know, take Mohammed, for instance, and I think he's checked out, but for a retail business, what do you think the costs are going to be, right? Well, one of the biggest costs is probably going to be rent. Then he's got inventory. Then he's got employees. Then he's got showcases and, you know, the whole build out thing. And then the branding and advertising, you know, so all of these are money that I'm going to have to spend to promote my business.
Yeah.
And then the revenue streams are going to be, you know, selling jewelry, selling, you know, whatever I'm selling in the store or online or however I'm going out to the marketplace. So, you know, you should have a feel for that, for whatever business that you're building.
Should we, I mean, like in my case, my idea, I would have to have like workers' comp. Did you also want us to include that and insurance?
Well, unless they're doing it for free, yeah, you got to include that, right?
Yeah. So how
If you're
would
paying
I
them a salary or, huh?
how would I calculate that based that's like what I'm not sure about. Like
Well,
how do I find out how much would I have to pay for workers' comp, because that's something that employers pay.
Well, you can use ballpark and I think they can Google stuff like that pretty easily. But you know, if you're getting paid $15 an hour, typically any of the workers' comp and Social Security and you know, other benefits are 25 to 30% on top of that.
Okay.
So just ballpark, you know.
Okay.
So you know, so 25. So you're basically a $15 hour employee. It's really costing the business owner $20 an hour. Anything else? All right. Good to see you guys. I'll see you next Tuesday. We'll jump into an interesting program on probably this is going to be a turning point in your life potentially for some of you. What these gals are going to be talking about. So I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to stop recording.